Welcome back to MWP. I'm your host, Seth.
And Tristan?
And today we are still in Arizona, and we are going to talk about the Great Camel Experiment. And first off, I've just realized that we typically stay in a state for like 2 episodes and then we move on. But very unintentional, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, might as well stick around for a little bit.
Yeah.
Explore, dibble dabble, and their cryptids, or, well, not necessarily cryptids, but their stories.
Yeah. Have you heard of the Great Camel Experiment?
I have not. I'm excited to hear about it, though.
Oh, yeah. Where this goes, this has given another favorite cryptid of mine. So, I'm
Is it
excited.
the Marlboro Camel?
No. It's the Red Ghost, or also known as the Phantasma Colorado.
That's a pretty fun name to start with right there.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to them. But we first have to cover the Great Camel Experiment, which the United States Camel Corps was a mid-19th century experiment by the United States Army in using camels as pack animals in the southwestern United States. Although the camels proved to be hardy and well suited to travel through the region, the Army declined to adopt them for military use. The Civil War interfered with the experiment, which was eventually abandoned, and the animals were sold at an auction.
I wonder what they were bought for. Like, the people buying them from the auction, I wonder why they'd be wanting them.
I mean, probably, I feel like it'd be like, there'd be some people who are like, oh, they make like actually like great little animals have. And then there's probably also some just rich people who went, I want a camel.
I guess. I don't know. Unless you have like a petting zoo, I don't know really what you do with a camel though.
I think they can spare people. So, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, what are they supposed to do? Is like have an attack llama? All it does is spit.
Dude, I mean, shit, yeah, fuck it. Why not, right?
Have a stand on your door. If you get a solicitor, it just spits at them.
Yeah, just, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, solicitors are terrible. Yeah. I tell you, I was minding my business, checking my mail, and then I have this man walk up and he starts trying to sell me a home security system, and I'm like, do you not see this one right to my left? Like, do you not see this on my door? It's right here. And then he started like dissing it, and I politely told him to fuck off, pretty much. So,
Well,
yeah.
Salesmen do suck. Even though I was one. I was a door-to-door salesman for a time.
You were. How'd that go? You got any fun stories on that?
Very much. We have
Well, why don't you give us a share?
Oh yeah, we have the one dude, who was just super racist, during during that whole thing. Every sentence had to mention those Mexicans in his words, which is like, goddamn, doing that. And then I see his diabetic chihuahua just come walking out. It's like, okay,
He's got a sweet spot for him.
I guess so. He was really mad about beer bottles having Spanish on them. That really upset him.
Probably because he's drinking a Mexican beer. He's like, damn it.
What is it?
Like, why do these Modelo's say that?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know, man.
And then the other most like knowable one was I was selling to this dude. Everything's going all right. Really big into Disney, and then I turn and I look to my left, and just swastikas and Nazi stuff just lining this wall. And I was like, oh fuck, oh shit. So yeah, I assaulted a Nazi.
Always them old dudes.
Dude, he was ancient.
Think he's still around?
But probably. Well, I don't know. I could see him being, that hate makes you live longer, I guess. I don't know. He probably is still alive. I will say, I did overcharge him a fuck ton. Anyways, in 1836, Major George H. Crossman, United States Army, who was convinced from his experience in the American Indian Wars in Florida that camels would be useful as beasts of burden. He encouraged the War Department to use camels for transportation. In 1848 or earlier, Major Henry C. Wayne conducted a more detailed study and recommended importation of camels to the War Department. Wayne's opinions agreed with those of then-Senator Jefferson Davis of Mississippi. Davies was unsuccessful until he was appointed as Secretary of War in 1853 by President Franklin Pierce. When U.S. forces were required to operate in arid and desert regions, the President and Congress began to take the idea seriously. Davies found the Army needed to improve transportation in the southwestern U.S., which he and most observers thought a great desert. In his annual report for 1854, Davies wrote, "I again invite attention to the advantages to be anticipated from the use of camels and dromedaries for military and other purposes." On March 3rd, 1855, the U.S. Congress appropriated $30,000 equivalent to $1,036,607 in 2025 for the project. A report entitled A report entitled "Purchase of Camels for the Purpose of Military Transportation" was issued by Davies in 1857. Major Wayne was assigned to procure the camels. On June 4th, 1855, Wayne departed New York City on board the USS Supply. Which, before I continue, I feel like our names have at least gotten better for ships than just the USS Supply.
I don't know. Have you looked up some of the naval ship names?
No. I just assumed.
I don't know. We got USS Gerald, that is an aircraft carrier. We got the USS Abraham Lincoln, my bad. USS Enterprise.
Okay. All right.
Submarines, we have the USS Ohio,
I was
USS
wrong.
Virginia, USS Connecticut, USS Georgia. You sure about that much?
Yeah, I was wrong. Okay. I guess...
Oh, wait, the amphibious is better. USS America. Yep.
Okay. We've actually gotten worse, apparently.
Hey, and we got the USS Arizona in the historic vessels.
Hey!
What?
Whoa. That's what we're talking about. That's where this is. My God. And I was wrong.
They're all pretty boring names.
Yeah, I'm sorry for my ignorance here. We just suck at naming ships.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Well, anyway, under the command of then Lieutenant David Dixon Porter, after arriving in the Mediterranean Sea, Wayne and Porter began procuring camels. Stops include Goleta, Malta, Greece, Turkey, and Egypt. They acquired 33 animals, 19 females, and 14 males, including 2 Bactrian? Oh my God. The fuck is a Bactrian camel? Oh, it's a Mongolian camel, okay. And 29 dromedary, which is Arabian camel. So there you go. 1 dromedary calf and 1 Bogdi, a cross between male Bactrian and female dromedary. I'm fucking these names up. My God, guys. The 2 officers also acquired pack saddles and covers, being certain that proper saddles could not be purchased in the United States. Wayne and Porter hired 5 camel drivers, some Arab and some Turkish. On February 15, 1856, the USS Supply set sail for Texas. Porter established strict rules for the care, watering, and feeding of the animals in his charge. No experiments were conducted regarding how long a camel could survive without water. Thank God. During the crossing, 1 male camel died, but 2 calves were born and survived the trip. On May 14th, 1856, 34 camels, a net gain of 1, were safely unloaded at the Indianola, Texas. All the surviving animals were in better health than when the vessel sailed for the United States. On Davy's orders, Porter sailed again for Egypt to acquire more camels. While Porter was on the second voyage, Wayne marched the camels from the first voyage to Camp Verde, Texas, Bay of San Antonio. On February 10, 1856, the USS Supply returned with a herd of 41 camels. During the second expedition, Porter hired 9 men and a boy, including High Jolly. While Porter was on his second mission, 5 camels from the first herd died. The newly acquired animals joined the first herd at Camp Verde, which had been officially designated as a camel station. The army then had 70 camels. Brother can't read.
I couldn't imagine that.
70?
Yeah, just looking at a field or a desert, I guess, with 70 camels in it.
Oh, yeah.
That look crazy, dude. And how many humps that is? What, do they have 2 or 3?
So the Arabian ones have 1. And then the Mongolian one have 2.
A lot of humps.
A lot of humps. It was a hump day for every day.
This terrible joke.
I know.
Why do we know why they can survive so long without water?
I'm pretty sure the humps just store.
Those are just fat.
Huh?
The humps on their back are just fat.
Yeah, but they're used to store the water as well.
Do they?
Yeah. So when they drink, they're also just storing a bunch of water in those humps. And that's why they can go on.
I'm fact checking you real fast.
I was like,
maybe like browser's not working.
I'll fact check myself.
It doesn't say. Yeah, it says the camel's hump stores up to 80 pounds of fat, which acts as an energy reserve when food is scarce. When the fat is broken down, it produces metabolic water and energy. They do not store water in there, though.
Okay, but I was kind of on there. They require out fat. That's what I got.
What?
Yeah.
Their nostrils can also act as dehumidifiers, trapping moisture from exhaling air and reabsorbing. What?
Goddamn.
They suck the moisture out of the air. That's pretty sick.
Damn.
Okay, well, back to the topic. The usage.
I met one camel.
Huh?
I said if only I could meet a camel.
Pervert.
Hey, you're thinking the same thing.
The usage. In 1857, James Buchanan. That's weird. We went to school with someone with that name.
Yeah.
He became president. John B. Floyd succeeded Davis as Secretary of War, and Wayne, who was resigned to duties with the quartermaster general in Washington, D.C., was replaced by Captain Innis N. Palmer. Also in 1857, in response to a citizen's petition to establish a road connecting the East and West, Congress authorized a contract to survey a wagon road along the 35th parallel from Fort Defiance, New Mexico territory, to the Colorado River on what is now the Arizona-California border. Former Navy Lieutenant Edward Fitzgerald Beale won the contract and learned afterward that Secretary Floyd required him to take 25 camels with him. How do you take 25 camels with you? The first part of the trip required traveling from Camp Verde through San Antonio, Fort Davis, and El Paso, crossing through the Texas-New Mexico territory border, and passing through Albuquerque to arrive at Fort Defiance. The expedition left San Antonio on June 25th of 1857 and 25 pack camels accompanied a train of mule-drawn wagons. Each camel carried a load of 600 pounds.
God damn.
No way is that not animal abuse.
Yeah, I was like, I know they're camels, but come on, man.
It's an absurd amount of weight to make any animal carry. Beale wrote very favorably about the camel's endurance and packing abilities. Among his comments was that he would rather have one camel than 4 mules. That's pretty good. Beale's comments led Floyd to report to Congress that camels had proved to be successful as a mode of transportation, and to recommend that Congress authorize the purchase of an additional 1,000 camels. Congress did not act. I wonder why. Beale and his parties reached the Colorado River on October 26 of 1857. After crossing the California, after crossing into California, Beale used the camels for various purposes on his ranch near Bakersfield. Beale offered to keep the Army's camels on his property, but Union Secretary of War Edwin Stanton rejected the offer. I'm stumbling here, man.
No worries.
On March 25th of 1859, Secretary Floyd directed renaissance of the area between the Pecos River and the Rio Grande. Using the camel still available in Texas, Lieutenant William E. Ecolis? I'm not sure.
Fun clue.
That's a weird pronunciation, or it's spelled weird. Of Army topographical engineers, was assigned to conduct the renaissance. Lieutenant Edward L. Hartz commanded the escort, with instructions from David Hammond Vinton, the quartermaster of the Department of Texas, to make the use of camels and provide a report on their performance. The train included 24 camels and 24 mules. It set out on May 1859. The expedition arrived at Camp Hudson on May 18th. The group remained at Camp Hudson for 5 days and then departed for Fort Stockton, Texas. Arriving on June 12th, on June 15th, the expedition set out for the mouth of Independence Creek, to test the camel's ability to survive without water. What happened there? I thought you were just saying that they weren't going to test them on how long they could survive without water.
Hey, this is a different dude, all right? My man.
That's messed up, man.
My man, oh my god, what the fuck was his name? My man
They're all
Porter.
in the animal cruelty.
My man Porter was the one who didn't do experiments.
That's messed up. The distance traveled was about 85 miles at 4 miles per hour. The camels showed no desire for water during the trip, but were watered upon arrival. The party then set out on a 114-mile, 4-day journey to Fort Davis near the Rio Grande. During this segment of the journey, one of the camels was bitten on its leg by a rattlesnake. The wound was treated, and the animal suffered no ill effects. That's kind of a shocker. How did they treat a rattlesnake wound back then? Something to look into, I guess.
Probably sucked it, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
upon reaching Fort Davis, the horse and the mules were distressed, but the camels were not. After a 3-day rest, the expedition returned directly to Fort Stockton. Hartz wrote that the superiority of the camel for military purpose in the badly watered sections of the country seemed to be well established. I would agree with him after hearing all that.
Especially knowing they can suck water from air. Goddamn.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I wish I could do that, man.
Dude, I would not be thirsty ever again. Ugh.
That's what I'm saying. Robert E. Lee, he had first seen the camels in 1857. On May 31st of 1860, Lee, who was still a U.S. Army officer and temporary commander in the Department of Texas, ordered Icholas on another renaissance between Camp Hudson and Fort Davis. Part of Icholas's mission was to locate a site for a camp near the Comanche. The train consisted of 20 camels, of which only one was a male, and 25 mules. On June 24th, the expedition was joined by an infantry escort command by Lieutenant J. H. Holman. They marched from Camp Hudson towards the Pecos River. The camels again performed better than the mules. As the march continued through extremely dry country, Icholas feared for the lives of his men and the animals. On the 5th day, the party reached San Francisco's Creek, a tributary of the Rio Grande. With almost no water left, 3 mules died on this leg of the journey, but all of the camels survived. After resting for a day at the waterhole, Icholas led his command to Fort Davis. Icholas decided that 1 man and 9 mules had to be left at Davis because they were unable to continue. On July 17th, the expedition arrived at Presidio del Norte near the Rio Grande. Icholas found what he believed to be suitable location for a camp. The expedition returned through Fort Stockton to Camp Hudson, arriving in early August. The detachment was released to its home post, and the camels returned to Camp Verde. Lee wrote to General Samuel Cooper of camels whose endurance, docility, and so what are these words, Seth?
I don't know.
Docility and sagacity is, I don't know, I'm assuming that's how you say it, will not fail to attract attention of the Secretary of War, and but for whose reliable services and Renaissance would have failed. The Renaissance ordered by Lee was the last long range use of these camels before the outbreak of the Civil War. The Arabian camels readily ate creosote bush. I'm gonna have to look that one up too. Which few other organisms eat. It is thought that this meeting reestablished a biological relationship that was broken when the American ancestors and relatives of the Arabian camel, such as camelopes, became extinct, making an evolutionary anachronism.
So far, though, it sounds like pretty good. I would say, sounds like a success.
The camels?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would go with a camel.
No, yeah. I mean, shit, they're
mules are kind of slacking over here.
Dude, yeah. Now we get into the failure. Early in the Civil War, an attempt was made to use the camels to carry mail between Fort Mojave, New Mexico territory on the Colorado River, in New San Pedro, California. But the attempt was unsuccessful after the commanders of both posts objected. Damn. Later in the war, the Army had no further interest in the animals, and they were sold at auction in 1864. The last of the animals from California was reportedly seen in Arizona in 1891. In spring 1861, Camp Verde, Texas, fell into Confederate hands until it was recaptured in 1865. The 2 Confederate commander issued a receipt to the United States for 12 meals, 80 camels, and 2 Egyptian camel drivers. There were reports of the animals being used to transport baggage, but there was no evidence that they were assigned to Confederate units. When Union troops reoccupied Camp Verde, there were estimated to be more than 100 camels at the camp, but there may have been others roaming the countryside. In 1866, the government was able to round up 66 camels, which is sold to Bethel Coopwood. The U.S. Army Camel Experiment was complete, and the last year a camel was seen in the vicinity of Camp Verde was 1875. The animal's fate is unknown. Among the reasons the Camel Experiment failed was that it was supported by Jefferson Davis, who led the United States to become President of the Confederate States of America. The The U.S. Army was a horse and mule organization whose soldiers did not have the skills to control a foreign asset. After all this time, nobody thought to teach soldiers to ride a camel. My God, come on.
Honestly, I mean, I think that'd be a good idea. Why not?
I mean, you can't.
Well, I guess not nowadays, but
Yeah,
back then, why not?
but I feel like it can't be that much worse than like a horse.
You know, I think they're taller, so it might be hard getting on them, but
True. Also, I think they're more mean than a horse. At least
maybe.
some, I think. I don't know.
Probably just depends on the animal.
Yeah.
They probably all have like different personalities.
Oh yeah. A released camel or descendant of one is believed to have inspired the Arizonan legend of the Red Ghost, which now we can dive into the greatness that is the Phantasma Colorado. The Red Ghost appears as a very large, demonically hideous camel-like creature with a human skeleton tied to its back. Most folks will tell you camels are not found in Arizona's high country. Truth is, those adaptable beasts can thrive in just about any kind of terrain. The U.S. Army introduced camels to the Southwest back in the 1850s, using them as beasts of burden while surveying a road across northern Arizona. But the Civil War interrupted the Great Camel Experiment, and most of the homely critters were sold at auction. A few were turned loose to run wild, and therein lies the basis for the legend of the Red Ghost. The story begins back in 1883 at a lonely ranch near Eagle Creek in southeastern Arizona. I don't know why the South is fucking me up. The Apache Wars were drawn to a close. However, a few renegade bands were on the prowl, keeping isolated ranches in a constant state of siege. Early one morning, two men rode out to check on the livestock, leaving their wives at the ranch with the children. About mid-morning, one of the women went down to the spring to fetch a bucket of water, while the other remained in the house with the children. Suddenly, one of the dogs began to bark ferociously, and the woman inside the house heard a terrifying scream. Looking out the window, she saw a huge, reddish-hued beast run by with a devilish-looking creature strapped on its back. The frightened woman barricaded herself in the house and waited anxiously for the men to return. That night, they found the body of the other woman, trampled to death. Next day, tracks were found, cloven hoof prints much larger than those of a horse, along with long strands of reddish hair. A few days later, a party of prospectors near Clifton were awakened by the sound of thundering hooves and ear-piercing screams. Their tent collapsed, and the men clawed their way out of the tangle just in time to see a gigantic creature run off in the moonlight. The next day, they too found huge cloven hoof prints and long red strands of hair clinging to the brush.
Naturally, these stories grew and were embellished by locals. One man claimed he saw the beast kill and eat a grizzly bear. Another insisted that he had chased the Red Ghost, only to have it disappear before his eyes. Oh, sound like normal stories so far, right? A few months after the incident with the miners, Cyrus Hamblin, a rancher on the Salt River, rode up on the animal while rounding up cows. Hamlin recognized the beast as a camel, with something tied to its back that resembled the skeleton of a man. Although Hamblin had a reputation as an honest man and one not to give tall tales, many refused to believe the story. I think I would refuse to believe it as well.
Yeah.
Several weeks later, over on the Verde River, the camel was spotted again. This time by another group of prospectors. They too saw something attached to the animal's back. Grabbing their weapons, they fired at the camel but missed. The animal bolted and ran, causing a piece of the strange object to fall to the ground. What the miners saw made their hair bristle on their necks. On the ground lay a human skull with some parts of flesh and hair still attached. So, what are you feeling? Do you think that maybe it was just like some crazy guy and he's like, I'm gonna scare off these locals, and so he tied a skeleton to a camel.
I could
That'd be
see it.
crazy. Yeah. A few days later, the Red Ghost struck again. This time the victims were teamsters. Sorry, what the fuck is a teamster, Seth?
I have no fucking clue, man.
Okay. This time the victims were teamsters camped beside a lonely road. They said they were awakened in the middle of the night by a loud scream. According to the terrified drivers, the creature, at least 30 feet tall, knocked over 2 freight wagons and generally raised hell with the camp. The men ran for their lives and hid in the bush, returning the next day. They found cloven hoof prints and red strands of hair.
About a year later, a cowboy near Phoenix came upon the red ghost in grass and coral. Traditionally, cowboys have been unable to resist the temptation to rope anything that wears hair. And this fellow is no exception. Okay.
Okay, alright.
Damn.
He just wants to show off his mad skills. He's like, check this out.
He built a fast loop in his rope and tossed it over the camel's head. Suddenly, the angry beast turned and charged. The cowboy's horse tried to dodge, but to no avail. Horse and rider went down as the camel galloped off in cloud dust. The astonished cowboy recognized the skeletal remains of a man lashed to his back. During the next few years, stories of the red ghost grew to legendary proportions. The creature made its last appearance 9 years later in eastern Arizona. A rancher awoke one morning and saw the huge animal casually grazing his garden. He drew a careful bead with his trusty Winchester and dropped the beast with one shot. An examination of the corpse convinced all that this was indeed the fabled red ghost. The animal's back was heavily scarred from rawhide straps that had been used to tie down the body of a man. Some of the leather strands had cut into the camel's flesh. But how the human body came to be attached to the back of the camel remains a cruel mystery. And that was the Great Camel Experiment and the Red Ghost. Or, the way cooler name, the Phantasma Colorado.
Yeah, that is a pretty sick name.
I don't know where it comes from, but it's fucking awesome.
So what are you thinking? Do you think this, maybe this camel was like in a war or something, and maybe during the Civil War, someone found the camel, and they're like, all right, let's ride this camel and let's strap myself to it, so in case I get like shot, I don't just fall off.
Yeah.
But instead they got shot and they just died. And then the camel just kept wandering, you know?
Oh, dude, that'd be actually sick. Fucking a whole thing of a soldier just, like, bonding with the camel. Oh. Then he dies in the war.
I mean, that'd be pretty sick for the camel, like, physically sick. Like, I would be disgusted having a rotting corpse on me.
Oh, no, yeah, but, like, you know, like, he gets shot and he straps himself so the camel can bring him home. But then the camel just ends up, you know, just wandering the deserts. I mean, it's awesome. The image of it is fucking awesome. A messed up looking camel with a skeleton riding on its back. Oh, dude.
I have to look it up.
Like, that's such a sick, like, look. I love it. Definitely up there as one of my favorite cryptids, I think.
Even past, the Loveland Frogman?
I think I put the camel above Frogman. My two favorites still is Bigfoot and Nessie.
Nessie?
Yeah, the Loch Ness Monster.
No, I know who you're talking about, but like, why is she up there?
Well, she's a little bit out there as well because when I was growing up, my favorite Scooby-Doo movie was Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster. I watched it so much, I basically, the disc just failed.
You know, I get that. I think I did that to Monsters, Inc. back when we had DVDs.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
A better time. We hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be moving out of Arizona next time.
Or so you think.
Yeah, or so you think. Actually, I do know, because I already know our next episode. And I would say next week, however, goddamn it, life has just been hectic.
Yeah, it's been a mess.
Like, it just started to get back to normal, and then it just decided to go turbo fucking messy. So, hopefully, it's next week, but, you know, we'll try to do stuff in between, if not.
Do some shorts?
Yeah, or, like, do, like, another, like, that reading video. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah. But we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Yep.